Welcome to Glue. Our guest tonight is Charlie Soule. I got to tell you, Charlie, I am a huge fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that, but I love to be at the Daily Grind.
Yeah, well, I love doing it.
That place is awesome.
Thank you.
But I don't think a lot of people understand the amount of effort that it takes to do everything that needs to be done there. They just walk in, they get this smile, they order something, it just magically appears, they give you money, and then they go and sit, and they think that, wow, it's just a magical place. But they don't understand the hard work that's involved and that's behind the scenes, and just getting people to show up. I mean, it's a labor of love.
It is, and it's labor intensive, and it's actually, there's a lot to learn if you want to work there. People are usually really overwhelmed when they first start working there because there's just so much that you have to do everything right, or else you mess up people's drinks, you mess up their food, and we're open so many hours that it's just constant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to know an awful lot about coffee too, and tea.
Yeah, you have to know some stuff about that. I mean, we teach our baristas things, but there's so many different things. Like the teas alone, there's different categories of teas, and there's some that aren't even considered teas that are herbals, and just the little things about all those. If you want to learn that, it takes a while, and it takes a lot of actually wanting to do it and wanting to be that person. But yeah, I've got some good people down there. But yeah, they come and go though too. So that's the other hard part about it, is just keeping staffed up to do that many hours that we're open.
Well, that's true, because you're open from 6 until 9 o'clock at night, or 11 o'clock at night?
11 o'clock at night, yeah, 24/7. I mean, 7 days a week, and if I work a full day, it's a 17.5-hour shift for me if I work a full day.
So are you the only coffee shop in town that's open that late?
Yeah. I mean, there's like, well, yeah, because there's that Barnes & Noble's coffee shop, but I think Barnes & Noble's closes at 9. So yeah, we're the only one that's open till 11. We're open later than most restaurants.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, man, the food is off the hook too.
Yeah, thank you.
You've got such a huge menu.
Yeah.
And that a lot of people don't understand what goes into having such a large menu. That's a lot of food to prepare.
Yeah, everything from making sure all the stuff is fresh to the ordering with the inventory, and I can't do all that by myself. So I have to teach my people to do some of that, but and then the menu's so big, just taking the order up at the register becomes an issue sometimes. Because there's all the little things with each sandwich that they have to ask to make sure that we get it, exactly right. And that is a constant battle.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Because there are so many things that you can order.
Yeah.
Just so many things, and they're so good.
Yeah. The thing that kills me is when people come in and they want like a special made sandwich. And I'm like, and then they want to like switch stuff out, and I'm like, okay, we can't actually do some of that because the prices on our ingredients vary so much, because some of the stuff is really gourmet items, and some of it's just like leaf lettuce, which is super cheap. So it's hard to just switch stuff out. So then you have to like put prices on everything, and when people want to create their own sandwich like that, it just becomes a nightmare, and then they get mad, and when they find out they have to pay for stuff, and I'm like, well, this isn't a soup kitchen,
Right.
Yeah.
And plus, restaurants typically don't have a very large markup or a huge profit margin. The
No.
profit margin on food is very low.
It is. They're always raising their prices too. And
Well, you have to.
yeah, and then they change up their stuff so much too. Some of the food vendors that it's a pain in the butt trying to keep everything the same, year after year.
Right. Absolutely. Isn't that one of those running jokes that they have in California? No, you're not really someone until you can go to a restaurant and order something that's not on the menu and they actually bring it.
Yeah.
It's like you go to a really famous Chinese place in California, you say, I want a hamburger. No, in fact, I want this special hamburger. It's got to be, I don't know, bison, and it's got to have cheese on it. And they're like, oh my God, it's like Brad Pitt. What do we do?
Yeah,
Do we go out and get him his hamburger?
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess they do.
Yeah. I'm sure they probably do. I wish I had some stars that came in. I might do some stuff like that too, but yeah, it's difficult sometimes. It really is.
So considering the location, it's an amazing location, but you've lasted there a long time, and there aren't that many businesses that stay open that long down there.
No, there's not. We're in our 13th year, and I think Hopscotch Bakery down there, and the Gold Dust. I think those are the only other ones. In Angela's, but that's on the Riverwalk now,
Right.
But I think we're about the only ones that are originals down there still. I think everybody else is come and gone. New places open up, and they last for a year or two, and then they close down. Somebody else opens up, and right now the bad thing is there's no. We used to have like our merchant society that would meet, and right now we don't have that because nobody wants to run it. Nobody has any time to run it, and it used to be the ladies from the Gold Dust that would basically put that together, and so we have a hard time with the city, trying to get the city to do things for the historic district, which is really sad because it's their historic district,
Right.
And
they sure advertise it.
Yeah, you would think that they would, but just getting a sign on the highway cost us money. Just saying that this is the exit to the historic district for Pueblo, which is just crazy to me because that's the city. That's the city center.
It's part of what they promote whenever they're trying to say anything positive about Pueblo.
Yeah. Well, and then there's so much down there too. I mean, like the hanging tree isn't there now, but there's that plaque there, and the hanging tree that was down there is actually the oldest known historic landmark in Colorado. In all of Colorado. That's where the pioneers used to aim for when they were going to stop someplace. They would look for that giant-ass tree. And, I mean, it's a shame it got torn down and everything, but the fact is there's still a lot of other stuff down there that's real historic that people could go down there and enjoy, and we should be taking more pride in. But the city just, it's like a constant battle with the city just to get them to do anything down there. And the other thing about the city too is like when Obama came and he talked in the street. I mean, I'm not really any political party orientated, but I was pretty excited about when that happened because it's historic.
Right.
The first black president talked in the middle of our street down there. And to me, that was something huge. Like when Kennedy came and did all the work with the water and the dams and stuff, and talked at the Union Depot. They make a big deal about that now, but when Obama came, the guy who worked for the city that actually saw that through and made sure that happened, got fired.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why he got fired. I mean, that's not what they said why he got fired, but that's why he got fired, was because he decided that it should happen and made it happen, and yeah, people got upset.
Why on earth would they get upset?
Well, probably some Republicans were involved that got upset. He didn't. I don't think he cleared it quite with everybody. Um, yeah, there's a lot of backlash from that all the way around. I almost got in a fight with the old military surplus store owner that was down there because they were protesting, and like Fox News came out, and him and a couple other people were really upset that Obama was talking down there. And I mean, it was kind of a hassle because of all the security that there was, all the Secret Service, and
yeah, because they pretty much have to lock it down.
yeah, they locked us down big time. But the fact is, if you want to make money, and you want to do something, if you want to get exposure, you have to put yourself out there. And like, we were selling stuff to the people that were all corralled in waiting, and other people could have done stuff like that. It's real easy to go out and sell soda. It's real easy to put a big sign on your front window saying, this is military surplus, we're open so many days a week or whatever, or making flyers and handing out flyers. Every little thing that happens down there, there's some kind of controversy with it. And I've learned over the years that you just have to take advantage of every opportunity that comes down there. And so when that military surplus guy was so upset and he was trying to give that interview to Fox News, I went over and I asked Fox News, the lady, if she wanted a different opinion. And I believe they were a Republican station, and so they didn't want to hear what I had to say until the military surplus guy started wanting to fight me right in the middle of the street in front of the news camera. And yeah, but that was just one little thing. And the city manager guy getting fired was another. And yeah, there's a lot of controversy sometimes down there, and getting the city to do stuff it's a pain. It's you would think that it would be so easy for them just to put some of that tax money that we pay, because I know I pay a lot in taxes.
Oh, yeah.
I pay sales tax every month, and it's a lot. And I don't understand where all that money goes to, especially when you see them take things away from the district. Like around the trees, we used to have these big iron grates. And they took those out and put in this cheap rock, and because they didn't want to buy any more grates, because I guess a couple of the grates had got stolen, so they took them all out.
Wow. And
put in cheap rock. And I was like, really? You're gonna do that? I mean, where's my tax money going? How come it's not going to a sign? How come it's not going to more bike racks down there, or more benches, or the things to make that area better? And hopefully, someday the city, somebody will get in there that'll realize what they have, and they'll make a better use of it.
Right.
And hopefully that'll be soon, because we're losing people more and more down there. Right now there's a lot of empty shops, which is really sad, because it's such a beautiful area. There's so many historic buildings, and it's a shame that some of those aren't filled up,
Oh, yeah. And that's a whole nother thing altogether, especially when you take into consideration that there are people down there and that had buildings for sale, and then they actually sold them until they decided, hey, that's not enough. And then, well, I'll leave it at that. But
oh, yeah.
It just seems to me that there are people in this town that just kind of get in their own way.
Yeah.
And then they wonder, well, why is this happening? Why is it like this? Well, you're getting in your own way. Stop it.
Oh, yeah. Our actually the livery next door, that was supposed to be sold, and there was a guy that was going to put a fancy nightclub restaurant thing in there, and it's a really big building, and I think he was going to pay $550,000 for it. And he told me that he had the backers, he was going to do it, but the lady that owns it decided she wanted more. And so all of a sudden, it's not getting sold, and now she's doing a little more work on it and trying but that was after I complained to her though too, that I was taking care of her property for her. And so now she's fixing it up a little bit, and I think they're going to put like office space in there or something like that.
Well, I hope they do something, because with her not doing anything to it, I mean, it was kind of an eyesore with weeds growing in there.
Oh yeah, it looked horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And the last year, I didn't really take care of it all that much because I got so much hell from her, you know. And then we tried to put that mural up on the wall, and even though it was my wall, she blocked it and stopped it and painted over it, and which was a shame, because the rest of it's supposed to be the creative corridor down there, you know. It's supposed to be full of artwork, and you've got people down there that just don't like art, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, she has money and used her money and connections and definitely stopped it all from happening.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. And if I was rich, maybe I could have fought it, you know, because she even got a lawyer and a surveyor to come down there, and I even asked the people at zoning if I could like dangle off the side of the building and just hang in the air and work on the mural, and they were all, no, she owns the air. And I was all, how do you own the air? That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's legalese. You know? It's legalese for we have money and you don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same people that said that, well, no, you don't have any water rights to your property, so you can't catch any of the rain that falls.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You can't catch it in a bucket and then let it go.
Yeah, that was completely crazy. And you know, we put that community garden in, and that was one of the things we were worried about, was that it was illegal to do that, because we're supposed to build like a reservoir to feed the gardens, just rainwater and stuff like that. And luckily that they cleared it, I guess, now where you can catch rainwater now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were really worried about that, because I don't have any hoses out back, you know, so we would have to haul water out there.
Well, it only makes sense. It only makes sense, because it's not like you're going to hold on to the water forever.
Yeah.
You're going to use the water, and then it's going to go where it needs to go anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I think somebody told me they were worried about Kansas was worried about the water, you know, and it's like, hey, we're in Colorado here, you know. I mean, I know they grow food in Kansas, and providing food is important and stuff like that, but, you know, I mean, it's falls on my property, so.
See, and that's just it, is I'm sure sometime during the past there was someone very wealthy that said, you know what, I want some more money, so we're going to sell some water rights to Kansas, and we're going to give these local people the shaft so that Kansas can give me money.
Yeah, exactly.
And, well,
exactly.
I guess we know how that turned out.
Yeah, it's definitely all about money. That's for sure.
So tell us about this project in the back of the grind.
That just happened this last Saturday. They put the boxes together, and I believe we have, I'm gonna say like 9 boxes that are, I think they're like 4x4, and we're gonna be growing food in there. And at first, the people that were doing it were going to be doing a farmer's market and then giving the money to Karen Share.
Nice.
But I don't think that's going to happen now. I think what they're going to do, because somebody found out that sometimes money doesn't go where it's supposed to go, I guess, or something like that. So they want to donate the food to families who are in need. So that way it goes directly to families, and it doesn't, you know, get filtered through the system.
So it doesn't go to someone to pay someone's salary instead of
exactly
going to feed someone.
Yeah, it'll actually go to feed someone instead of.
Charlie, I got a raise this year. You see?
Yeah.
You see? Come on.
Yeah.
Don't ruin my raise, man.
Yeah, you got to give me that bonus. I mean, come on now.
I've got to go to the Cayman Islands this year.
Yeah, that's right. There's a strip club I want to go check out.
Well, I'm sure that's not the case. I'm just, exaggerating.
Not at all. Not at all.
I have a tendency to exaggerate. Anybody that knows me, I kind of exaggerate a little. Okay, a lot.
A lot. Yeah, so do I. But yeah, it's a really cool project, and there were so many people there. It was actually, I didn't think as many people were going to show up as they did, and it was nice to see community get together and actually do something for somebody else, and it was an all-day thing. And to me, that's what the grind is all about. I mean, I want to live my life, and I want to be happy, you know, and I don't want to have to scrape up money for food and stuff like that for myself, or scrape up money for my house payment or whatever. But at the same time, I really don't care if I make money doing what I'm doing. It's become such a part of the community. That's more of what I take pride in, is that I'm providing a place for not only teenagers to go, but business people, to the freaks and the geeks and the crazies like me, you know, that just need some place to go, that don't want to go to a bar, you know, and can't afford to go to that fancy restaurant,
right?
Or just need to kill some time, you know. And in the meantime, we can do some good stuff. You know, we have a lot of like traveling people that come through that play music. We're always showing artwork for new and budding artists. Sometimes we even get some even better people in there that are, you know, that are more experienced artists. So it ranges on the talent that comes through. But the fact is, it's some place for people to show. It's some place for people to sing. It's some place for something to get done. And then we've got different groups that meet there. We've got the poetry group. We've got chess nights, you know, for those people who like to strategize and all that, which that I don't get. But yeah, it's basically become a community center, and that's what I like about it, and that's why I do it. That plus I couldn't work behind a desk, even if I wanted to. I'd end up probably be one of those guys that would bring an AK-47 to work and start shooting, you know, after a couple months of that. So, because I am kind of crazy. So yeah, this fits me real well. It's a lot of hard work, but I don't think I could do anything else now. I really don't.
Well, you've definitely made a huge impact on the community. So many different types of people go and
yeah, it's crazy
visit. And honestly, that's one of the things that I found so amazing about it, and what has kept me going back. The fact that there are so many different social pieces of Pueblo that go. From every...
It surprises me every day, some of the people that come in there. And we even had like, who's that one dude that was Kardashian's dad? Jenner. But I mean, we even had Bruce Jenner come in there one time. We even had like the new Superman guy came in there, Vampire Diaries, somebody, I don't know, but
nice.
Yeah, I don't watch TV very much. I don't have time, so I don't really know who all these people are. I know who Bruce Jenner was just because he was a gold medalist. All the girls were like freaking out when he walked through the door. They're like, "Oh my God, it's a Kardashian!" Blah blah blah. And I was all, "Who is that? That dude's a gold medalist." And what? He's a gold medalist?
Yeah,
and
he was on the Wheaties box.
Yeah, I'm all, yeah, he's a gold medalist. No, that's Kim Kardashian's dad. And I'm all, okay, who's Kim Kardashian? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we get so many different people in there that it's really, and it's really fulfilling too to see all these people mingle together, you know, because at one table you've got like some serious rich business guys and you know, they're networking and powering and through lunch and stuff like that. And the next table over, you've got, you know, some dude that's got, you know, nose rings and gauges and tattoos like me, and just, you know, he's just kicking back. And then the kids come in, and the moms and families. I mean, we have families that come through there too. So yeah, it's
all ages.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Because you
it's
see
crazy.
people who can barely walk
Yeah.
go in there.
Oh yeah.
And they're regulars, and it's all the way to very, very old to very, very young.
Yeah, it is.
It's
too.
amazing. You're pulling off something that a lot of people say that just can't happen. That we can't come together. That there's so much division in our country. There's so many people at odds with each other, and we will never come together, and we will never do anything worthwhile, and there is never anything positive in this world. And a lot of people don't realize that that's just bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
To sell advertising on television, radio, whatever medium you got, generate clicks on the web, to try and divide.
If they can't categorize you, then they can't sell you something. So,
Right.
yeah.
But there you
it's
are.
It's a lot easier if they categorize you and put you in your place instead of letting you make your own decisions. But,
exactly. And there you are, proving them wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's really fulfilling proving them wrong. I love it. I love living life like that. So, yeah, it's very fulfilling. I tell everybody all the time, my employees, how lucky I am, because we've made it as far as we made it. And now we're pretty much, people, I mean, everybody around town knows who we are. And
oh, yeah.
So it's almost like one of those Pueblo things, once you're there for 7 years, you're pretty much golden. And I mean, that's not exactly how it is really when it comes down to the business aspect. There's still a lot of business responsibilities you have to take into consideration, and you have to keep up. But once your name gets out there like that, it does make it a lot easier, because now I don't have to. I still advertise a little bit with some of the local people, and I do that more as a community thing.
Right.
And to kind of spread, I'm not going to say spread the wealth, because I'm definitely not wealthy at all. Yeah,
well, you work, you bust your butt.
Yeah, I do. But I like to spread it around. I like to give people chances and give back to the community. There's a huge circle of responsibility when you run a place like that. And if you don't accept that responsibility, and you don't involve like not only your employees and your family, the people who are close to you, but also your vendors and the artists and the musicians and the other people you can advertise with, like I'm looking probably to advertise with Pulp here pretty soon again, which is a local newspaper. If you don't do stuff like that, then you're not doing your community any good. That's what always makes me mad about people that are just all centered on the money and just want, the money to go in their pocket.
Right.
And once they hit a certain point, they're just worried about that profit. And there's no reward in that, really. I mean, you've got, you can buy a nice car and a nice house and, go to that strip club. But the fact is, it's a lot more rewarding when you see people day to day that are a little bit happier, or making it, or get opportunities because of what you've done.
Well, absolutely. Well, when you show the difference between Main Street and Wall Street, you're putting your hard-earned money in some other place where they couldn't give a shit less about you.
No, they just want the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't care whose back they step on, they pounce on. They don't care. To them, you're just a number. But when you are contributing to your own community in Main Street, there's like an accountability, because you're right there.
Yeah.
You try and complain to someone on Wall Street, who are you going to talk to?
Yeah.
Who are you going to call?
Yeah.
It's like trying to get support on Google.
Yeah.
You know, even though they're in Boulder, good luck getting a hold of somebody.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Who are you going to call?
Yeah.
You don't know.
No.
It just goes nowhere in this circle of nowhere. These people are never held accountable. But when you can go and knock on the guy's door and say, hey, what about this? Or what about that?
Yeah.
That's not right. When you can call him on the phone, or, you know, that's one cool thing about Pueblo. We all know each other. We've all hung out in similar circles. We know
It's a little
so
big
many
town.
people. Yeah.
It's a little big town.
To where you can actually call them up. You can call their mom. What other town
Yeah.
can you do that in? You say, hey, do you have your son's number? This way I can talk to him.
Yeah.
And next thing, hey, yeah. Then you're calling him up. Pueblo's just that kind of town.
It is that kind of town.
I love that, because without really being aware of it, Pueblo has been about permaculture for a long, long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice place to live. I mean, it is, because it's big, but it's not too big, and people do care here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, you know, that in any town that you don't like, but
Oh yeah.
but here at least, I mean, it's like you said, you know everybody, you know the most of the people that come in. You're gonna be like, like 6 ways to Kevin Bacon, you know, with somebody around there. So, you know, it's cool doing that, and yeah, it's just community.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I wish there were more people that kind of understood that. But yet you see people in our community that bash Pueblo, and they say, well, it's just Pueblo. It's Pueblo. Never realizing that, you know what? No, it's not Pueblo. It's you.
Yeah.
You need to take responsibility for what you're doing, for your own actions. And you need to realize that you're the problem. It's not someone else, because even though they say, well, I'm just going to LA. I'm just going to LA, man. LA, those people get me. Or I'm just going to Vegas. Those Vegas people get me. Or I'm just going to Portland because, you know, Portland, they know. Seattle, whatever. And then they go. And then they're just as miserable as they were when they were here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a bigger city. I mean, those people chew you up and spit you out, you know.
With no problem at all.
Yeah, with no problem at all. At least here, you know, you at least know people, and and there is a big community here for the homeless and for people who need assistance. You know, there's a lot of that here. So that makes it really nice. Yeah, those bigger cities, they just, yeah, that's like a corporation. That's like stepping into a corporation where you're just nameless and faceless, and, you know, you think you're a part of it, but really you're not. You're
Nope.
just a cog in the wheel.
Exactly.
You know? And I guess for people that don't want to take responsibility for themselves and their community, maybe that's for them to do, you know, who just want to be faceless and nameless. But yeah, here in Pueblo, it's a lot different. It really is. And you know, when I was younger, I was one of those people that I wanted to move away. I did. And
Me too.
I had a job where I traveled, and I've been all across the country. When I was younger, I lived other places because we didn't move here till I was 13. And I've seen a lot of other places, and Pueblo really isn't that bad. It really is not that bad. Plus, you're so close to other things that you can go do, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That you're just 15 minutes away from from the reservoir. You're 15 minutes away from the mountains. You're just a half an hour away from Springs if you do want to go visit some, you know, vicious city.
Oh yeah, you're 2 hours from any venue.
Yeah,
you're 2 hours away from one of the biggest venues on the planet, which is Red Rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what you really want to go do, you can go do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not that far.
Perfect.
Yeah, but then you can come back to your quiet, little bit quieter place.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's family,
To
which
where
is
you're not going to
nice.
pay $500,000 for
Yeah,
something that's 1,800 square feet.
yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
what?
Yeah,
You gotta be kidding.
just so you can say I live in the city.
Yeah.
I live in a big city.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah,
And in a little cookie cutter place that looks like everybody else's,
yeah,
and you pass gas and your neighbors hear it,
yeah,
but yet it's $500,000.
yeah.
If I'm going to fork over $500,000, I want to be able to wave to my neighbors, going, "Hey, I can
Hell
barely
yeah,
see you. You're way over there."
hell yeah. Gotta have space, but
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
So, any new and exciting things on the horizon?
Well, I know this summer, we also built a stage out back. Actually, this one guy built it. His name is Alex, and he helped do a lot of the building of the boxes down there, and helped get some stuff together. But he built that stage out there, and then Aaron that works for me down there, he's the one that does the promotions, and he basically just does it out of the goodness of his heart. God bless him, because he is a go-getter, and he definitely knows promotions. We tried doing stuff down there before, and some of it, has done well, some of it hasn't. But as soon as Aaron got there, I don't know if it's because he's so good at networking or something. I don't know what it is, but he's got like the magic touch, and he definitely is going to put on some shows this summer out there on that stage. Hopefully, like some bands too. Since Phil's closed up, we want to try and fill a little bit of that niche. Because that was a shame that happened. Because a lot of young bands, were playing through there, and now they don't have that anymore. So hopefully we can provide a little bit of that there. We also just did a movie night, kind of like Mystery Science Theater type deal.
Love Mystery Science Theater.
We had Wade. You know who Wade is?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had Wade was there, and John Bueno, and some other guy that I don't know. But they watched Weird Science and did their thing, and it was pretty cool. For the first one, we had a really good turnout.
Yeah.
We even had some kids from Halfway House show up there, just because they had no money, nowhere else to go, and we don't charge for any of our events. So they actually got permission slips the day before, so that way they could come and do it. We're gonna do stuff like that. Other movie nights besides, where there's actual commentary. We'll do some of that. Yeah, I'm hoping for a lot of stuff to happen down there this summer. And also we've got the recycling thing that I kind of want to try and make that a little bit bigger. But my problem is waste management. I tried to get out of my contract with waste management and go with We Recycle, because we recycle everything that we use, or at least we try to, because I don't want my footprint for my business being part of the problem,
Right.
of business, because that is a thing, especially with bigger business, is their footprint is so huge, and they just put out so much waste that it just, to me, it's not worth it buying that Nike brand when their assembly plant is putting off so much pollution and waste out there. And I don't know that Nike actually does that, don't get me wrong. I'm just using them, as an analogy. But yeah, I'm hoping that we can get more recycling going on there, because we recycle everything from, like, now we're recycling more of our compost type stuff again for the gardens, which is very cool. Because we were trying to have people come and take that type of stuff, in the coffee grounds and
Right.
everything, but not a whole lot of people do that kind of thing, or weren't wanting to do that. And we even had like worm herder people come and take some of that stuff, but it just kind of dropped off there. So we got that going again. We recycle all our plastics, all our cardboard. all our glass, any kind of metal. I even have that dumpster open to the public. And so I was trying to find a cheaper way to do it, and We Recycle would have been a lot better way to do that, but I am in a contract with Waste Management, and they're evil. Man, they're evil. They have you locked in, and you have to like give them 6 months notice at the right time of year.
Wow.
To actually tell them that you went out of the contract, and then you have to go through some more hoops after that to get out of the contract.
And then they light it on fire. And
yeah, it's crazy. I just can't believe once you sign something with those people, it's like it's like the mafia, you know, and they even threatened to sue me.
Wow.
Yeah, they were gonna sue me, and then I even contacted We Recycle, and they got in trouble because Waste Management was providing them with some dumpsters, I guess, to do their thing, which is probably a write-off for Waste Management. I'm sure that's probably the only reason they were doing it. But they went to We Recycle, and they got all over their butt. And so We Recycle like pulled out, and they were like, "Hey, we can't do this. You know, I know you want a dumpster there, but we're gonna get in trouble if we do anything with you." And I'm like, "Damn, it's crazy, you know."
Wow.
And even if I have if I go over the top of my dumpster just a little bit, and I've got stuff sticking out, it's another $75 every time they pick it up.
Wow.
Yeah. Which
So they even like measure it.
You will, if it's sticking up, yeah, just an inch out of the top, you know, there's another $75 for that inch. So I try and load it down as much as I possibly can every time. I even go out there and stomp on the sucker every Thursday night. You'll see me out there stomping on it and pushing stuff in, because I do want it to be a place for the community to drop stuff off, you know.
Right.
And I've always let people put stuff in there because I want people to recycle. I want Pueblo to be a greener, cleaner place, and it's hard sometimes to do the right thing, you know.
Pueblo getting in its own way again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and but hopefully we'll get something going better with that. I need to see where my evil contract is at right now, so hopefully I can give them my 6 months, but one way or another I want to get something better with the recycling going on too. And we definitely have some good artists coming up. In fact, we have I think this next month, if she has time, there's a lady from Denver, I believe. Her name is Samantha, I want to say, and she's doing a comic book called Luna Girl.
Oh, wow.
And she's got these paintings that are amazing. She's really talented. She's my age, so she's, you know, middle-aged, but she does comic stuff, and she got a contract, and it's just amazing artwork. And hopefully right now she's going around doing promotions for her comic book and stuff like that, but hopefully she'll be down this next month, and we'll be showing. So sometimes we got some, you know, some exciting stuff coming through there besides, you know, just local artists. And hopefully we can get more of that. And like I said, Aaron's talking to people all the time. We have at least once a month, if not a few times, we have people that are coming through and from other states that play music. And we get a lot of different types. Like this Sunday, we have a bluegrass band playing down there, which, you know, I'm not too excited about the bluegrass band, but, you know, there are some other artists that have come through that I've been really excited about that I thought were amazing, you know,
Right.
that should be getting some better airtime or something. But
Well, it brings in yet another cross section of people.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden, wow.
Well, and the more culture you can expose people to, different types of culture, the better they're going to be with it, you know?
Exactly.
So it also, to me, it also helps just the same way that the grind is, you know, with different types of people coming in there and mingling all together, you know? the more of that there is, the more that people are exposed to other ways of life, to other music, to everything. It's going to make the world a better place, or at least Pueblo a better place anyway. So yeah, hopefully there's a lot of good stuff on the horizon, and I'm always looking for people with ideas too, you know. I don't turn away any ideas. I may not do it if I don't think it's a good idea, because I've had some doozies come through. Some people talking to me about some really crazy stuff that's just, it ain't gonna happen. But
like what? Come on, you can't tease us like that.
I had one group that wanted to come down, and it didn't end up happening. I was gonna let it happen, but it didn't end up happening. But I had, they wanted to talk about death, and it was I can't remember exactly how they termed it, but it was like a meeting about death, and it was really weird. It was really weird, and I was like, and these people aren't dying or anything like that. It's this big group that goes around and they meet at cafes and talk about death. And I was like, okay, so I went ahead and I let it happen, and then they didn't end up doing it. Another time I had some witches and warlocks and occultists meet down there, which that was kind of interesting. I even had a lady that wanted to do like one of those sex party things down there, which that I didn't let happen, because we do have kids that go in there, you know.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, there's that. I've had people that want me to play like really awful, god-awful music in there with a lot of cussing. And I mean, we don't filter ourselves very much down there. We're all pretty crazy. And I do have some crazy music that plays in there sometimes. But yeah, there's been a lot of people just, I don't know, sometimes they don't think before they come and talk to you. You know, they're just like, oh, well, you guys do anything down here, so we'll do this. And you're like, no, we can't do that. That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, the sex party one, that was, I could just see a bunch of dildos popping up on the table, and you know, that one lady that's giving the thing trying to show everybody how to give a good blowjob. You know, that's what I was envisioning anyway. And because I saw that HBO special where they did that. But yeah.
Oh, you just never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Could be
that's
even
for
worse
sure.
than you think.
Yeah, it could be too. It could be. But I mean, we've even had belly dancers down there. It's crazy, some of the things that we've done. But you got to expose people.
That's just yet another flavor.
And everybody's got to fly their flag too.
Right.
You know, I mean, I like flying my flag, so I figure if I can fly my flag in there, I'm gonna let almost anything happen down there. But yeah, I'm always good for new ideas, new experiences, new music. Every time I get a new employee in there, I usually end up with some new music that we play, you know.
Awesome.
Because I'm a huge music fan, and I like new stuff. So, well, and I like to expose people to new stuff they might not actually hear here, but they might hear in a bigger city in a nightclub, you know.
Right.
That, like I have one of my girls, Fabiola, she brought in a bunch of new music, and it just gives a place a little bit different flavor too, you know. And I don't know.
It's always new. It's always different.
Variety is good. Variety is really good. Plus, it keeps things fresh for me too. So that way, it's because it does get old working every day and all day, doing the same thing day in and day out. So I tell my employees, you know, the thing that keeps me sane is the fact that I ride a wave of chaos. If I didn't ride that wave of chaos that happens, because every day something different happens, and you've got your problems that are either happening with the employees or people that come in, or with the district down there, or something. There's something every day, and You know, if I didn't have that and I didn't have like new music coming in or new art or new events that make me feel good about it, then again, I would be that AK-47 guy, you know, just losing my mind. But it keeps everything good for me, and I thrive on it actually. So
Yeah, the place is amazing. You've definitely made some magic happen there, because it's always different. It's always new. Every time I go in there, there's always a new piece of art. There's a different piece of music. There's a different member of society in there that I haven't seen before. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a treat for your senses.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know, and I can't say, like I said, there's always other people involved, like Aaron with the events, and I have a couple people, Bree and Kyle are taking up the artwork now, and because I work in as many hours as I do, and the responsibilities that you have to have, you know, doing paperwork and stuff with the business.
Right.
I can't always be the one to hang the art or talk to the artists or, you know, book musicians and stuff like that. So I'm lucky that I have people that care enough that want to do that kind of stuff, or else I wouldn't be able to do all of what I do. I would be able to do some of it, that's for sure, because I push myself very hard. But but I love it, and that's my life, you know. And I think they see that, and they're luckily I have people that are crazy like me that, you know, want to see it be good and want to be a part of the community, so they just jump right in there.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have them, then it definitely wouldn't be the place that it is. That's for sure.
They're very friendly people. Very, you feel like family when you go in there.
Yeah.
And you don't get that very often.
No.
You know, it's always this fake kind of thing when you go somewhere else, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell when they're just saying it just to placate you, versus a definite warm smile, a definite laughter that's going on because they're having fun there.
Oh yeah, I tell my employees, especially, I started focusing on it during this last summer, that I realized that people watch us while we're working.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy the way that they watch you and the way that they want to be a part of something. And so it's you're not only serving drinks and food, but you're also like entertainment.
You are.
Yeah. And so that's why I hire the crazy people that I do, because like I've got that guy that works down there now, Kyle, who is he is such a people person. It's insane. And he loves to mess with people. And,
yeah, he does.
Yeah. And so, you know, I try and get people in like that, or people that'll, you know, holler when I holler, or people that'll sing or dance, you know, and I mean, we try doing a lot of different fun things down there to make people feel like a part of it, like it's an experience. It's not just to stop in and on your way to something else. It's more of a destination, or it's part of that experience of your day, you know, that makes it so much better because you saw something a little bit out of the ordinary, or a little bit of crazy came into your life that broke up that routine, you know, and
it kind of perpetuates too.
Yeah,
it's like the things that you guys do, even so much that you know, it just kind of, it's like a wave, and it just flows right on out from the central location.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, you can definitely see the influence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody wants to see what the cool people are doing.
Yeah, exactly. What crazy's going on today, you know, which is very cool. Cause like I said, if it were like Starbucks, or if I had an employee that was just, you know, being monotone up there or putting on that fake smile, I would definitely let him go in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I don't put up with that kind of, I don't like the stuffy coffee shop that you go to, you know, and they're all stuck up and they're like,
And the coffee's not even good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crappy coffee. You're buying a name.
And it's usually from an automated machine that's totally automated. So there's no skill going into making that drink at all. There's no pride. There's no nothing. And, and those people are just, I don't know how they feel good about themselves serving like that. I know I wouldn't. It would just be a job, you know?
Right.
It would be just like working in an office. I'd be showing up last minute and getting out of there a couple minutes early if I could, you know, and running out the door because I didn't want to be there anymore. But a lot of my employees, they're there like all the time, you know, and even if they aren't there all the time, they definitely linger. They show up early. Everybody eats there, which is cool.
That says a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot. I know I eat a lot there, but that's because I'm poor, though. You know, it's a labor of love, but there are some perks, and one of the perks is at least I know I've got good food to eat all the time, you know, and good drinks.
And you've definitely got the best clam chowder.
Oh,
it's like I'm sad that summer's coming along because you're not going to make it as often.
No, the soup
that's good stuff, man.
That is a labor of love. I tell you what. The soup is hard to do because I do everything from scratch usually, so it's a lot of prep work, and plus then there's always something else going on that has to happen also, and so you're pushing time wise to try and get that sucker done by lunch, right? You know, and try and serve everybody in the meantime. So yeah, summertime is kind of nice for me because I don't do the soup every day. But yeah, people love that soup. They really love that soup.
Well, you can tell it's all made fresh.
Yeah.
It's in the taste. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see the clam chowder, man, I'm there. When you post that you're having clam chowder, I will make sure that I'll go. Yeah.
Well, I have people that, like, I have a guy that came in today, and he's from Springs, and he told me that he's going to be down Friday. And he told me, he goes, "You need to make the baked potato. If you make the baked potato, half of it'll be gone when I leave." And I was like, "Seriously, you're going to buy that many baked potato soups?" And he goes, "Yeah, if you make it, I will buy it." And I was like, okay, so I guess Friday I have to make baked potato. And then with the clam chowder, I've got another guy that comes in, and his name is Jinx, and he actually runs like a roach coach.
Yeah.
And he comes in, and whenever I have clam chowder, he buys like 3 or 4 of those suckers and takes them home. And it says a lot. It makes me feel really good, that's for sure, because I don't have recipes. I just throw stuff together most of the time, you know, and a couple of those soups that I make are ones that I actually just made from nothing.
Nice.
That I came up with that sell really well. So yeah, all of it, there's a lot of reward down there besides money. There's a lot of reward going on. And that's, like I said earlier, like I tell people that I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky. I've got a good place. I've got a good product going out that people respond to. It can be part of the community. And then, of course, there's the girls. You know, I mean, I do have some really pretty girls that I work with, and they're very cool. And then there's a lot of girls that come in too, and I am a man, so yeah.
Well, they're very entertaining. They make me laugh all the time.
They're a handful, I tell you what. And it's kind of like we were talking about earlier about high maintenance. I mean, some of them are maintenance, but you know, they're worth it. They're definitely worth it. But yeah, there's a lot of reward to doing it, which isn't money. And I wish more people saw that too about other things in life, that if you put yourself forward and you put everything you have into it, you know, there's probably some reward in it somewhere. And it may not be cash money. It may not be, you know, you're going to get laid or something like that, but you might make somebody happy. You might make somebody smile. You might make a friend that you didn't know even existed, you know.
Well, you're making a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
Every day.
So there's always reward out there if you put yourself forward and you do something. There's always reward. And money's not really, when it boils down to it, money's really not that important. I mean, it's nice to be able to pay your bills, but you know, having that mansion is a lot of work, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And there's a heavy price to be paid for it.
Yeah.
You always have to look over your shoulder.
Oh yeah, security and everything else. I mean, I was married before, and I was married for quite a few years, and my wife was she was in a corporation, and which, I mean, that's why we ended up not being married, is we were just two different types of people. And she still lives in a nice house, you know, and it was I live in a really small house now, and which I'm very happy with. And it's not in the greatest neighborhood, but you know, it's I didn't grow up in a fancy neighborhood, you know, so for me it's not a bad neighborhood at all. And where we were living, in the house that we were in, it was so much work. And, you know, you are worried about people stealing stuff. In fact, when we first moved in, we put some flowers in these concrete little planter things that were vases that were out front that the people that lived before there left. And they got stolen right off of my front lawn. And this is on Quincy, on a busy street, you know. I mean, these people just drove up, plucked them right up and put them in their trunk or something, I don't know, and drove off. And I don't have that happen at my house, you know.
Right.
You know, and I don't have to worry about that happening over there because I don't have fancy stuff. And you know, you really don't need that to be happy. No. Yeah. I mean, it's, like I said, it's nice to pay your bills, but at the same time, there's a lot more reward into putting into your community, to putting into your friends and family. And I just wish more people would do that. And I wish more businesses would do that too.
Right. Because how much is enough at the end of the day?
Yeah, I know it. And it costs to be responsible. It does. Like the recycling thing, that definitely costs a lot of money. And it eats into what little profit margin I have. But as long as I can pay my bills, I would rather be doing that than, because I wouldn't feel right if I were just throwing all that cardboard away, if I were throwing all that glass away, and it wasn't going someplace where it would be reused. If it were just going to a landfill, you know, or being burnt someplace or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't feel right about that at all. And I that's the other thing. I don't know how those companies and businesses, I don't know how they feel good about putting out an inferior product, you know, and polluting while they're doing it, and then not helping their community at all, and just taking the money and going to that strip club.
Well, because they don't understand that in the end it also affects them, and it affects their family and their children. And that's the legacy that they're leaving behind. They don't realize that. No, they don't either. And I don't know that they do. And I don't, you know, some of those people, I don't even know if they are smart enough to realize that, if they would even care in the long run. You know what I mean? Most of them are sociopaths anyway, so they don't care. All they care about is that immediate reward. Exactly. That they can get, instead of looking at the long view of it, at the big picture of the damage that they're doing. Yeah, to the majority of them, we're just like insects, the equivalent of. Yeah. And, you know, they're doing us a favor by not stepping on us, if they even give us that much thought. Yeah, that's it too. I think the only thing that they really think about is like if it were like Nike, you know, like what logo they can put out there that's gonna make it to where we're gonna want to buy it, and you know, that's all they really care about, is the marketing and the advertising and the stockbrokers, right? That are there, that's a really sad thing. It really is. I couldn't agree more. Are you thinking of expanding anytime?
Yeah, I actually, me and my girlfriend, Fabs, we've been going to Manitou off and on. I was looking at, because I love the mountains. I love the mountains. That's one thing I love about Colorado so much is the mountains and the wildlife. And I mean, I was born in Denver, so I'm a Colorado native, and I'm very proud of that. And I eventually want to open up another place that I can spend more time at that maybe isn't directly in the city, you know?
Right.
That maybe is like so much closer to the mountains, but Manitou works out so well because it's a community up there that's in the mountains, but it's right next to the city also.
It's kind of a unique place as well.
Yeah, it's a very unique place, and I know there's some unique places there already that provide services, but from what I can tell from being up there, there's not a whole lot that, like, there's this one cafe up there that seems like I think the lady lived up there, but she actually just moved down here, I found out. And she still owns the coffee shop up there, and it's actually a pretty good coffee shop. It's called Good Karma, I think, or something like that. But then there's others up there that aren't, they're more corporate.
Right.
Which really sucks because you've got a really unique historic place that, has corporations in it. And that's one thing I'll throw in about downtown that hasn't happened yet in the historic district, or like right there in the downtown area, is we don't have Starbucks.
Right.
We don't have a Starbucks down there.
Thank God.
Yeah, which is totally awesome. And I'm hoping that they never decide to put one on the Riverwalk or any other of the corporate, companies that want to come in and invade and get rid of locals.
Well, I don't think they could compete. They just couldn't, because you know what? They're too cookie cutter. And no, I don't think that they could. Even if they put a store next door to yours, I mean, worst case scenario, there is no way that they could compete.
I would hope not,
because it's so bland. It's so,
bland.
You walk in and they all wear the same stuff.
Yeah,
it's all the same. It's like, you know what? No.
You know what's funny is we have Starbucks people that come to our shop.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
You bet.
It's crazy because you would think that they'd be going and, drinking their own product from where they work and stuff. But no, they come down, they hang out at the grind and drink stuff there. And which, that says a lot. That says a lot. They're not happy about what they're serving, and they know it. They know it's not that great. And
and who roasts their damn coffee? It's horrible.
Yeah, it is
horrible.
Charbucks.
Honestly, I'm gonna share something with you. Okay, my first wife used to work for Starbucks, and at the time when she was working for them, they were really an amazing company. They treated their employees very well. That was one of the perks at the time, and that was, oh, goodness gracious, that was probably about 98, 99, around there when she started working for them. And the company's changed a lot. At the time they made it seem like, oh, this is gourmet coffee. This is really good coffee. This is how it's done. And it was like, they presented themselves as, well, I'm a barista. I'm not, so you go in there and you're exposed to it. And then you say, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I've never seen that before. That's kind of interesting. I have to come back. That's interesting to me. I'm coming back. And then you see the genuine article. And you have some really good coffee with some people who know how to make really good coffee.
Yeah, fresh
that,
coffee.
That actually have a personality.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other one and you go, oh, whoa,
Wow.
no, I can't even do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's like having something with all this color, and now you're forced to look at it in black and white. And it's sad.
Going to a restaurant where they hand make your food and then having to go get a sandwich out of a vending machine.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Or like, the
Yeah,
cardboard burgers.
Yeah, there you go.
And there's just no comparison. The only reason why you would go to the cardboard burgers is because, you know what, I'm in and out, and it's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Well, it's dirt cheap because it's freaking cardboard.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's those fast food places suck.
It really says 100% beef, but what part of the cow is it?
Yeah,
You don't know.
What part does the pink slime come from? That's what I'd like to know.
All the parts you don't want.
Where do you get the pink slime from? That just, that doesn't sound satisfying to me. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, I stop places sometime when I'm pressed for time too, and they are, they are convenient, but I would much rather go someplace and be able to sit down and get something that's handmade, and I know it's going to be fresh, and the ingredients are going to be a little bit better. But yeah, we're lucky that we don't have a whole lot of that here, and especially in the areas that mean more like the historic district and the Riverwalk, that we don't have those chains down there. And like I said, I hope it stays that way. I hope the city doesn't, or the Riverwalk doesn't sell out. Because I had heard at one time they were trying to make it where that couldn't happen. That they weren't going to be putting any Starbucks down there or anything like that. And I'm hoping that that's still the plan when it comes to the big plan on what's going to happen down there. Once they get the money to do everything that they want to do on the Riverwalk. But yeah, we've been really lucky that way.
Yeah. I'm not even too sure that they could really, any corporate entity, it's kind of like the Walmart model. They come in, they blow everybody out because of the lower prices.
Yeah.
And then 5 years later, you walk into the same store and you're like, well, where's this and where's that? Oh, well, you're going to have to wait for that. Well, how long am I going to have to wait?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a special order that we don't keep that in stock.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. I tried to go get a folding table for the show.
Yeah.
So we can have something, different. And finding a folding table at Walmart. Insane. You can't find it. I can't tell you how many stores I went to looking for a freaking folding table, and I couldn't find one.
That is crazy.
Yeah. And so that's what happens. They get you in, they blow everybody else out, and then their quality turns to shit.
Yeah.
But if you're a business that is in it for the long haul, you can outlast them, because they'll go for a little bit, but as soon as they realize what's up, people will see it.
Yeah.
The movie theater. Oh man, Tinseltown. They did this town dirty.
Yeah, they did.
They lowered all the prices, ruined all the other theaters except for one, the Mesa Drive-In.
Yeah.
Which is still going strong. They just got the digital projectors.
That is awesome, and I can't believe that they're still running. You don't even see any drive-ins anywhere anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you don't hear about them. I mean, when I was a kid, that was the thing. If you got to go to the drive-in, I mean, that was huge. You got to play around. You got to sit outside in a lawn chair, or whatever, and bring your own stuff in besides buy stuff at the concession.
But nobody does that.
No.
Nobody does that.
No, nobody does that. Nobody brings in alcohol either.
No, they don't do that.
Or other things. But yeah.
There's a big thing on Facebook about that. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. So they posted that they're going to be opening And someone said, well, they were upset because that they posted rules, saying, oh, and don't bring any of the herbs to the drive-in.
Man.
And then they're like, oh, well, that's not right, man. That's not right.
It's
and
not.
so
You're in your own car, God damn it.
It starts this whole thing,
Yeah.
And
I bet
only
that
in
was
Colorado.
big. I bet that was big too.
Only in Colorado is that a big deal.
I wonder if they have a rule where you can't have sex in your back seat either.
You know what? I bet if enough people did it. But yeah.
Because I mean, that's the thing too at the drive-in is you
That's
take
true.
your girl there, and next thing they're putting the seat back.
That's true. Or you're in the back seat.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because that's never happened.
No.
At the drive-in,
not
ever.
at all. Not
Ever.
at all. I don't think any babies were made at all at the drive-in.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, I think the Mesa Drive-In is responsible for a lot of kids.
Probably.
A lot of
Probably
kids.
are. Yeah. Call them drive-in babies. We got lots of drive-in babies. But yeah, I'm so happy that they're still open. But yeah, Tinseltown yeah, that's one of those corporations that just came in and they've got their how many screens do they have?
Oh, I don't know, but it's a lot.
It's crazy how many screens they have. And
They dropped all the prices until all the other theaters went out of business. As soon as they all went under, then they raised the prices.
yeah, and now it costs a fortune. You're going to spend like $40 just to go to the movie and get some popcorn and a Coke.
Oh yeah.
You're spending all that money. And then what really sucks about Tinseltown too is if you go early and you want to play one of the games in there, they don't even upkeep their games anymore.
No.
Then their arcades, you go in there and half of them just take your change and you can't play them, and the other half are just out of order.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because me and one of my girlfriends, we were all, well, let's go early and we'll play some games, and we'll stop at Cold Stone first to get an ice cream and then go play some games and wait for the movie, and then we'll go in and yeah, we went to go play games, and for like 45 minutes we're standing there trying to figure out which one we can actually play, and here they're supposed to be the shit.
Yeah.
And they can't even upkeep their arcade games in there, but it costs a fortune just to go in. So
You know what I hate about the theater?
Huh?
This is what I hate about the theater. There's this concept. It's called the decoy effect. Okay? So you go into the theater. You see a small popcorn, and the small popcorn is $5, right?
Yeah.
And you look at that small popcorn and you're like, man, $5? That's popcorn.
Yeah.
Why am I spending $5 on popcorn? Even as a restaurant guy,
Yeah.
that it's not costing
Oh, no.
$5 for popcorn.
No, that markup's huge.
So, you're there in the theater and you're like, oh man, it just tears you up to have to spend $5 on this small bag of popcorn. It's a small bag. It's not a big bag. It's a small bag.
Yeah, very small bag.
So you've got the small bag. They decide, you know what? We're not making enough money. What can we do to make more money? Popcorn costs us nothing, but we want more money.
Yeah, you gotta pay those stockholders.
So they bring in a psychologist, right?
Yeah.
Takes a look at the situation, and the psychologist says, well, you need the decoy effect. And they go, what the hell is the decoy effect? Okay, this is what we're going to do. You've got the small popcorn for $5, right? Yeah. Okay. You want your large popcorn. It's $8, right? Yeah. But nobody's buying the $8 popcorn, the big tub, right? Nobody buys that? No, nobody buys that. Okay. You need a medium size. And the medium size, instead of being $8, it's $7.50.
Yeah.
Okay. So then these people, they look at it and they go, well, $5, $7.50, or $8. And then they upsell it. They say, oh, well, instead of getting a medium for 50 cents more, you get the large.
Yeah.
And because of the decoy effect, now nobody gets the small. Everybody gets the large at $8, thinking that it's a deal because it's only 50 cents more than the medium.
Yeah.
Well, it's a deal.
Yep.
No, it's not. It's $3
Yeah.
more than the small bag. It's the decoy effect.
It is, and you know what kills me too is they do the with the large popcorn you can come out and get more popcorn, you know. But who in the hell gets through a large popcorn in the first place?
Nobody.
You know?
Nobody.
And then who wants to leave the movie to go fill up their popcorn bag?
But it's a deal.
Yeah, it's a deal.
It's a good deal. Let's
such
do
a good
it.
deal. Such a good deal. But yeah.
That's insane.
It is
and the
insane.
fact that they do that, they also use, it's called neurolinguistic programming. Okay. You walk in the doors and you see this ice cold soda, right? It's a picture of a Coca-Cola in its cup, and you see the condensation dripping down.
Oh yeah.
And it's right on top of it. It says thirsty ?
Yeah.
Neurolinguistic programming. It's one word. It goes straight to your brain, and you go, "Hey, you know, I think I'm a little thirsty."
Yeah. I'm gonna pay $7 for that big Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be $8.
Yeah,
because the
$8.
medium
Yeah, that's
Coke
right,
is
that's right.
$7.50.
That's right.
And for 50 cents more, you get the large
Yeah,
Coke.
when it's really just like a big cup of ice and a 12-ounce
Exactly.
Coke, you know.
Exactly, for $8.
Yeah, that you could buy for $1 at a machine or something.
It's insane. Yeah. As soon as you walk in, I mean, it's like hypnosis.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk in, they're messing with you, and it
is.
It irritates me to no end that people let themselves be manipulated, and it works.
It does. It works. Or you know, it's the same thing too. Like you were saying, how they blew everybody else out, and now it's like nobody has a choice. So you go in there and you're like, well, damn, there's no place else to go, you know. And so I guess if I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna end up spending that money, and they're just expected, you know.
Right.
It's almost like you expect to pay $40 to go see one movie, you know, with two people.
And when was that okay?
It's never been okay. That's just crazy. It's a movie, for crying out loud. You're sitting in a seat, you know, and just eating some popcorn and drinking a Coke. It shouldn't be $40. I mean, that's like a whole meal.
Yeah.
You know, that's more than that's like what 3 or 4 people would probably spend at my place, you know, for an actual meal, which is just, that's insane.
See, in the theater companies, the people that are showing the movies, the ticket sales, they don't see a penny of that, which is why they want to gouge the crap out of you on the concessions.
Oh wow, I didn't know
because
that.
all their money comes from concessions only, not ticket sales.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, they've got
crazy.
a market. Imagine that, to where, no, you're going to show our films and you're going to give us all our money.
Yeah.
All of it. Every penny.
Damn. That's crazy. I couldn't even imagine trying to do that. And I definitely wouldn't feel good about charging $8 for a thing of popcorn.
Because you're genuine. You're a human being.
Yeah.
You're not a sociopath.
I'm one of those people that pay the $8 for the thing of popcorn, you know. So I'm like, man, that just sucks.
Well, I don't do it anymore since I found out about the decoy effect.
Yeah.
No, I buy the small just because I'm not supposed to.
And I'm actually one of those people that will eat that whole large popcorn.
Unfortunately,
yeah, I get it, and I'm going to eat all of it.
I paid $8 for it. I'm eating it all.
I've even gone out and got more popcorn before. But, you know, I'm one of those rare people where I can just, I eat and I eat and I eat. And, you know, I drink all of my large Coke too. But I don't feel good about it. That's for sure. I go in and I don't feel good about it. But I'll do it because that's the only place to go.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Pueblo needs to change that somehow.
Yes, they
Some
do.
good ideas for you.
Yes, they do. They need to change it desperately. And, you know, I actually have a guy that Kyle guy I was mentioning down at the shop. He wants to open up a movie theater. And we were talking about it one day, and he was asking me stuff about business plans and things like that, of which I fly by the seat of my pants most of the time, so I'm not really a good one to talk to about business plans. I just do what feels right. And but I told him a few things that I knew about, and he said something about that there's not a whole lot of money made off of ticket sales.
No,
and,
no.
He was thinking about doing like older movies and independent movies and things like that, but he can't figure out how without killing people on other parts of the entertainment, package that you go to when you go to a movie theater, of how he would make money and actually make it work.
And he's got a tough road ahead of him, because depending on which movie he's going to want to show, each movie has a certain writer, especially like Disney movies.
Yeah.
Disney movies will only let you play their movies in certain theaters where you must abide by these rules.
Wow.
And if you don't abide by these rules, then no, you can't show this movie.
That's crazy.
And some of them, like you have a lot of theaters with liquor licenses in them.
Yeah.
Certain movies can't be shown in those particular theaters.
That's crazy.
And if this theater is in proximity to another theater that they have a contract with, that can come into play too, to where you're not going to be able to do this at certain times. I mean, it's the legalese thing again.
Jeez, that's just insane. They make it so hard to just, provide something for people out there.
I never knew that until I thought about opening a theater.
That's crazy. I'll have to tell him that. He might know that already, though. But I'm definitely going to make him aware of that, because, I was hoping he was going to open one and do something. There's that one up on the Junction, that old theater there, that I wish somebody would do something with, because...
Well, from what I understand, there is... what's that? It's asbestos. That they have to do something to remove the asbestos that's in there. That they found out, which is the reason why they haven't really done anything with it. Which is also that location, which is the old Alpha Beta meatpacking plant.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was something that was going to happen with the, Urban Renewal Authority.
Okay.
That they were going to turn that old meatpacking plant into apartments. And they were going to call it like the water tower or something like that, because of the big water tower in the back, until they realized that it was full of asbestos.
Wow.
And so before you even do anything, before any kind of renovation can happen, you have to get all that out. And that's not cheap.
No, that's not cheap at all. That's crazy expensive, because, that stuff not only goes into your lungs, but it'll absorb through your skin too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff's crazy.
Asbestosis.
Yeah.
Can you say that?
Asbestosis. Asbestosis.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming and being a guest on the show.
Oh, not a problem. I really enjoyed doing it. I hope it definitely puts some ideas into some young minds out there, or gives somebody at least a little bit of more sense of how important, it is to be a part of your community, and to do something for somebody other than yourself, to give back a little bit, because that's, like I said, that's really rewarding, and if more people did that, then this place would be so much better.
It would change the world.
Yeah, it would. It wouldn't be so greedy and so just, I got to have those shoes, It would be, I don't care about those shoes as long as I got some on my feet.
Right.
And I can get to where I'm going to go do this or go do that, which that's much more important than the kind of shoes you got on your stinking ass feet.
Right.
So, yeah, I really enjoyed it too. It was very cool.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
You've just listened and watched, for the first time, Glue. We'll see you next time.